Hey everyone, it's me, Angela Walters from Quilting is My Therapy. Welcome to the most recent video in the Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along, Echoes and Curves. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quilt the optional borders for your Echoes and Curves Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along panel. Before you start quilting your border, first look it over and decide what it is you want to highlight. For instance, if my favorite part are the pieced sections, I'm going to do something a little bit different in those areas to highlight them. Or maybe I like the shape that it makes. If that's the case, I'm going to do some different echoing. Or maybe I just love the pieced kind of fractured look of it, where I'll do a slightly different variation of the echoing to highlight that. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to quilt your borders, so let's get started. Now this first way that I'm going to quilt the border, what I'm going to try to do is highlight the kind of background area to my pieced border. I'm going to start at one side of my border and quilt a line horizontally to the other side. But I'm not going to run into the fake piecing of my border. I'm going to stop just about 1/4 inch away, echo it, and then return back to the side I started from. And that's going to give me my first little section right there. Then I'm going to travel along the seam for just about 1/4 inch and then do the same thing again. I'm going to keep going until I get ready to run into the other color, echo the side, and then return back to the side I started from. What I'm doing is kind of creating sections with just a little bit of gap in between them. It's kind of mirroring the design that's on the other side of the border, and I think it's going to look really cool. It's not something that just has to be used in the border, you can use it in other areas of your quilt. Now if you quilted along with me on the Help How Do I Quilt It challenge, you saw this technique used in X blocks. Make sure to use the reference lines on your ruler to keep your lines moving straight. And it doesn't matter how wide you quilt your sections, just as long as you have a difference in spacing between them. While I like using a ruler to quilt this design, when the lines get really short, I usually just freehand them because it's a little quicker. You can try to make your sections match the design on the other side, or you can make them completely different. That's not really going to matter so much. Just focus on having the different spacing between the sections, and it's going to look great. And if you don't have a ruler, no biggie. You can still freehand those designs to create those straight-ish lines. Now on the long arm, let me show you a different way to fill in the background area of that border. If you like the shape that the piecing makes, you can use echoing in a completely different way to highlight that. I could echo quilt around the design on the fabric. And then, if I want, add more echo lines and then fill it in. And of course, the filler is up to you. If you want, you could do some dense back and forth lines. You could do some wishbones. Basically, we're just wanting to make that echo line pop. But if the design of the fabric is your favorite thing, maybe you want to show off that beautiful piecing, instead of echoing the sides, I could just quilt straight echo lines that run right into the edge of that design. They're almost going to act like arrows pointing you to the beautiful design that you want to show off. And once you decide how to quilt the background of your border, then you have to decide how you're going to quilt the design or the piecing or the fake blocks that we have there. Well, this is where you can have so much fun. Combine echoing and serpentine lines just to create your own effects. And try not to worry too much about having a plan. As I'm quilting along, I'm just thinking, what do I want to quilt here? An echo line, a serpentine line? I'm just filling it in and moving on. In the smaller blocks where I can't really fit any serpentine lines, I'll just add some echo lines. But in the larger areas, I can either add a little bit of echoing and then quilt the serpentine lines, or just leave the echoing out altogether. And when echoing, you don't have to just echo the sides of the blocks. You can echo the top, you can echo 2 sides of them, you can create different effects just with that same echo line. All right, now it's your turn. If you're quilting along with me on the optional border for your Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along panel, go ahead and finish the borders with the designs of your choice. Thanks so much for participating with me in this Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along. I've had a blast and I hope you have too. I'll be back soon. Happy quilting!